Hello everybody, welcome back to my RC Plane channel. I'm James, and today I'm going to be starting a brand new kit build series with this plane right here. So if you remember, if you've been watching my channel, maybe a couple of my previous videos, I mentioned this OS Max AX2. It's basically a 0.46 AX2 two-cycle engine that was mounted on a previous plane that I had that I crashed. It was a Great Plains Escapade 40. And yeah, the plane got destroyed, and luckily the engine survived. So I wanted to find a new home for this engine, so I decided that I'd like to go ahead and try to build basically a sport, a 40 size sport plane, sort of like the Escapade, but I actually wanted to build a kit this time, build it myself. All right, so I went and I started looking for the right kit to build, or the right plane to build to match this engine. And I visited a few websites. Now, there's not a whole bunch out there in terms of manufacturers that are still making actual kits. I think the most popular thing that you see being sold are ARFs, but kits themselves are sort of not a rarity, but there's less available. So I looked online and I found, like, for example, SIG. SIG is a good company. They make great kits, and I found a few on there that I was looking at that I was a little bit interested in. I went and I also looked on eBay to see if somebody was selling one, maybe an older kit, see what was available there. I looked on a few other sources like Tower Hobbies and such. But then I came across the Balsa USA website. Now, I've never built a Balsa USA kit, but from what I've read in my experience, they are a well-regarded kit manufacturer, and people really like their kits. And I found this, which I think is going to be actually just a perfect plane for this engine. Okay, so what do I have here? This is a Balsa USA, like I said. It's a Balsa USA Smoothie. It's the Smoothie 40. And they also make a Smoothie, like I think it's called an XL. I think it may be a 60 or a bigger size. But this is the Balsa USA Smoothie kit, which has, and I wrote my specs right here so I don't forget them. It has a 52-inch wingspan. It has a 43-inch length. The wing loading is 22 to 24, so that's perfect for like a sport plane. And then, of course, like I said, it takes a 0.40 to a 0.50, or a 0.50 to a boy, I'm all messed up, a 0.40 to a 0.50 cubic inch two-cycle. Now, you can also build this, I guess you can do electric on this, and you can also, again, probably do a four-cycle if you'd like also. But so this 0.46, I think, is going to be just perfect because it falls right in the mid-range of the size class for this kit. Okay, so I'm not getting paid by Balsa USA, but I will say it was a really nice experience purchasing from them. So this plane was $133. Now this is, I'm saying this, it's November 2021. So this plane was $133 straight from Balsa USA with free shipping. They sent it my way, and it came in this box just like you see here. Now I haven't opened this other than just kind of when I first got it, I popped it open just to make sure nothing was damaged. I just kind of fingered through it and looked at a few things, but I have not looked at this kit in any great detail. I haven't looked at the plans. I haven't looked at the manual, the instructions. So what I'm going to do in this video is basically do a open box kind of kit review, like a pre-build kit review, go over the plans, go over the instructions, and look at the parts. And that's basically what this video is going to be. It's going to be sort of an introduction to the build. And then in the upcoming videos, obviously I'll be building the kit itself. So my next video on this will be basically setting up the build. Okay, so a little bit about this plane. So the Smoothie has been around for a long time. I've read some forums on it, and I've looked online for some resources to kind of learn a little bit about it. So Balsa USA markets this as part of their nostalgic line, and they have like 3 or 4 kits that I guess have been around for a long time, and they're still selling them, and the Smoothie is one of those kits. So interestingly, I actually have a few old RC modeler magazines. This one is the 1985, probably too glary, a 1985, and this one is a 1992. And I was thumbing through these, and I came across the old Balsa USA, basically their ad in these magazines, and I found the Smoothie in here. Okay, so this one is actually from 1985, and then there's the Balsa USA. Hope I don't get too much glare from my light on here. But there's the Balsa USA ad, and you can see there's the Smoothie right there. Hopefully you can see that. It's the Smoothie. And $24.99, 25 bucks back in 1985. And it's so it says here again, it's the 52-inch wingspan, 40 to 50 size or class. And I know this plane, I think it goes back to the 1970s. So I'm not sure if Balsa USA built it all that time, or basically if it was in production all that time and they took it out of production at some time and they brought it back. I have no idea. But it is obviously still available. So this one, this is kind of cool too. So this is from 1992. And here it is here, another ad. And let me see if I can show you there. There's the ad. And then here it is right here. And what's funny about this one, if you can see that one, what's funny about that one is that it's the Smoothie, but it's marketed with the paint scheme, or the, what do you want to call it, is basically looks like it's an old World War II, basically a German warbird paint scheme. I'm not sure why they would do that, but anyhow. And this one was $45.95, so basically 45 bucks. And now in 2021, it's $130. So I actually think this is a really good deal for a kit. So yeah, I'm really excited about building this one. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, well, before I get started diving into this kit, I do want to mention a few things. One of them is that if you've been watching my channel, I haven't been doing this too long. And so it's new to me, and my presentation skills aren't the best, and I understand that. But I do spend a lot of detail on the kits. My previous kit build was the Barnstormer 25, and I did something like 40 videos on that one, and a lot of detail, a lot of step-by-step stuff with that one. And then before that one, I did it was a House of Balsa chipmunk, a small little chipmunk, 1/2A. And I didn't do a video log of that one, but I just did have a short series, basically slideshows and such, and again, a lot of detail. So I am still trying to figure out the sweet spot, if you will, in terms of each video showing enough detail to make it interesting, but not so much that it becomes boring or tedious. But if you have any suggestions, please put them in the comments and let me know as I'm doing this, in terms of if you like the content, if you think things are, if there's any something interesting you wanted to add, questions, things like that. So I'm open, I'm all ears for any suggestions. And I really do appreciate the comments that I've received up to date. A lot of people commenting on my previous builds and such, and I really do appreciate the feedback. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop this open and see what's in here. Like I said, I haven't spent a lot of time looking at it. I just wanted to do a little quick look at when I first got it to make sure there were no problems. All right, so let's go ahead and pop this thing open. And this is basically how it came. They just sent it in this box and showed up at my doorstep, and it was really nice. All right, so this is what it comes like this. Here it is. And I'm going to switch my camera view in just a minute, looking down on top of it, but I just wanted to kind of get started. So they give you, of course, here's the plans. Nice set of rolled plans, which I haven't looked at yet. Put those down right here. And then here is the instruction manual for it. And this is basically a later manual, because the original, I guess the original instructions were just this, which is a few sheets of paper. That was all you had back in the day. And they actually probably say here, for your entertainment, here are the original Smoothie instructions. So I'll look at that too, but looks like they've really expanded their instructions, which is really nice. I'll need that very much. And then the other thing that I noticed is in here is this is the Vintage Radio Control Society flyer. I want my thing to get right here. There it is right there. And I guess there's this society. I haven't looked too much into it. I am going to look into it now that I'm building this kit, kind of find out more about it. Okay, so here's my receipt. And then this little tray they put in there to help protect the parts. And then here's all the parts for us right here. Now I think the big difference between the original kits and these ones is that these are laser cut. So instead of being the die cut parts, they're going to be all laser cut. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just look at the plans, basically the instructions again, and then we'll look at the plan set. And then I'll zoom out and we'll look at the parts inside the box. So again, here's this little vintage deal here, the Vintage Radio Control Society. I'm going to check that out and put that over there. Here's the original instructions that they give us. And kind of interesting here. And you know, this is going to be something. Boy, they really were light on the instructions back then. But here's the old instructions. That's cool. Fuselage, wings, and that's about it. Okay. Okay, well that's cool. I'll take a look at that also. All right, so let's take a look at the instruction manual. So there it is again. It's the Smoothie. Some information about the guarantee. Obviously, I'm going to go ahead and read through this manual from front to back probably a couple times to make sure I completely understand what I'm doing. It's 31 pages long. It's really good to go ahead and read through it a couple times to make sure you know where you're going next, because a lot of times that's when things go wrong. Kind of make assumptions about where you're going, and all of a sudden you realize you made a mistake. So that's what I kind of do sometimes. So here's a little bit of items I'll need to complete the kit. There's a bunch of stuff here. Some mention about the tools. A little bit of information sort of like before constructing a kit. So that's cool. Type of glues. I'm going to go ahead and get myself I did put on order. I have some CA glue coming, a new bottle of CA glue. Then here's just some building tips here, which is nice to have. So that's really cool. They give you a lot of hints and stuff to follow, which is nice. If you've never built a kit before and you want to buy a new kit to build something like this, is what you need to really kind of help you out and give you those tips that you need. Choosing an engine, that's cool there. I know what engine I'm going to use. Anyhow, lots of information, lots of detail. Nice. Okay. Not the best photographs, you know. The photograph. This is basically just printer paper. It looks like they printed this on 11 by 17s and just kind of stapled them together, but it's good enough. Let's see. Here's the wingtips. I know some people, when they've built this, they square the wingtips off. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep it rounded like that. A little more information here on the rudder. Here's the fuselage construction section. Lots of information. All right. And I am going to do, I think I'm going to be doing a side mount. I'm going to try to do a side mount, or maybe I'll mount it upside down. I'm not sure. One way or the other. It's either going to be sideways or upside down. If I do it sideways, then I'm going to use my Pitts muffler for that, so that'd be kind of a cool way to finish it off. But we'll get there when we get there. Yeah, so this is basically a kit where you're going to have to build, you're going to have to carve, sand, shape, do all that kind of stuff. It doesn't come with like a plastic cowl or pre-made landing gear. So this is another thing. This landing gear is basically wire, as you can see here. And I think what happens is you probably just kind of cover that with Monokote. You probably wrap it around. My Piper Cub is like that. It just basically you wrap it around the wire. We'll see how that goes. I may change this out with just basics with like a solid 40 size aluminum landing gear. I may do that. So I'll see when I get there if I want to do that or not. Looks like there's a lot of detail in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our parts now. So here's this little tray. I'll move that off to the side. And what do we got in here? Let's see. So here's a little canopy. It's going to have to be just cut. I don't know if I may paint this. I don't think I'm going to leave it clear. I may paint that black or something. So we'll see. Here's some of the hardware. This looks like, okay, there's the control horns. This is probably for the well, who knows. There's a tail gear, the tail wire for the tail wheel. A little bit of hardware in there. Here's the main landing gear wire set. Interesting. Okay, boy, and just a bunch of wood. Yeah, nice big blocks of wood. Like I said, this is going to be a kit with a lot of carving, a lot of shaping. Here are the ribs. Some of the ribs. Here's a package of Nice. Everything's kind of nicely labeled. That's cool. These are probably the rudder. I'm sorry, the elevator. We'll see. Again, nice big blocks of wood to be shaped, carved and shaped, sanded. So yeah, it's a little bit more involved than just a basic kit. There's a lot of work to do on this. Not too bad. Take your time. Here's this looks like this must be the landing gear kind of mounting plate. Here's the firewall. Yeah, so everything's nicely, if you can see that, everything's kind of nicely nicely labeled. There's a bunch of sheeting material. I like about this box is they actually have a lot of room in the box. Everything's not just jammed in here, so I can easily go through everything. Looks good. Some of the parts have come out of their kind of die cut or their laser cut pieces. There you go. Kind of stabilizer tips. Block of wood there. There's a bunch of spars and such right there. Some more sheeting. This must be the elevator, right? Okay. And then what else we got over here? There's the wing tips. Boy, very light balsa. And here's plywood for the here's a dihedral brace right here. What is this part right here? This is the doublers. That's for up by the engine mount. Nice. That gives you this kind of gives you an idea how big the plane's going to be. All right, very nice. Nice laser cut. Everything looks pretty clean. I didn't see any broken parts. Some things have come out of their out of the wherever you want to call these things, where they laser cut them out. So there are some free parts that are floating around, but everything looks like it's in really good shape. And yeah, nice, very nice. What else do we got down here? There's our doublers. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put all this stuff kind of back in here and then kind of clean the kit back up. All right, so let's roll these plans out and take a look. Now, I don't think I have enough room on my table to put the plan completely on here. I may have to cut the plans, so we'll see. It shouldn't be a big deal. I can always go ahead and I can cut them. Wow, okay. All right, let me go ahead and I'm going to lay these out with some weights, and then I'll take my camera off and we'll take a look at them. So there's the plans rolled out. So it's actually just one sheet of plans, or one plan, I should say. Pretty big sheet. And actually I can go ahead and cut it. I can cut it to fit my table. I can take a little bit off the bottom and a little bit off the top, and I can kind of slide this onto my table for my workspace and do it that way. I could split it. Probably take the wing off if I wanted to. I could take the wing out and do it that way, just to kind of make it easier. So anyhow, the plans look like they're actually very, very simple. Maybe that's why the instruction book is so thick. But yeah, there's a lot of detail in the instruction book, but the plans themselves look pretty straightforward. Okay, let's take a look. So the first thing I notice is that this is going to be nice. This will actually be pretty easy. Is this the rudder and the elevator are both just solid wood pieces, so that's going to be pretty straightforward. Nothing too complicated with that. There's a little dowel that's going to hook the elevators together. There's the hinges right here. So I like how it how the tip of the elevator kind of closes off back here. That's pretty cool. I like that. And then here's the rudder. Again, it's solid, and the rudder is actually a full length. Goes from the bottom of the tail section all the way to the top of the vertical stabilizer. And then there's a little tail wheel assembly. That looks pretty standard there. The wing itself looks pretty simple overall. It is pretty wide. It has a pretty wide, I guess, wing chord. So I did note here that also that the aileron servo is the single servo is right here in the center of the wing. I am going to modify. I'm actually going to put a most likely, I'm not know for sure, but I may put a individual aileron servos in there so that I can actually get flaperons. I'm working on this, but we'll see. I'm going to kind of play it by ear as I go. But overall, it looks like it's a pretty straightforward build. There's a little, must connect to the fuselage using a dowel here. And I think in the back of it, I'm not sure, but I think they use, oh, here we go. It's bolted to the fuselage. And then of course, here's the ribs and the sheeting along the front, along the leading edge sheeting. There's a little bit of trailing edge sheeting, and then some center section sheeting. And then the ailerons are controlled by these linkages right in here. Very cool. And of course the wingtips are rounded off. Here's a block up here. So you notice here's a block here that'll have to be sanded down to make it shape correctly. All right, looking down on top of the fuselage. So of course here's the spinner is going to go here, and then there's some doublers that make up the front end of the fuselage to help support the engine and also support the landing gear block. Cowl not shown, that's fine. All right, so here's the fuselage. Now I can't tell if there's actually a compartment that comes off. It doesn't look like it. It looks like, so here's a block here. There's a block up here. This all has to be carved. Now remember, looking in the box, these were just rectangular blocks of wood. They're going to have to be carved. They're going to have to be carved to shape to kind of match the spinner. This must be the firewall. Yeah, it's the plywood there. Tank will probably go right in here. Of course, here's the radio. It says radio area. That's cool. There's just some sheeting here. Again, so here's the landing gear with the wire. The more I think about it, the wire may be okay. Like I said, I can probably just use, like if you look at the, if you look at this Piper Cub right here, it's basically the same thing. It's got the wire, and then it's got this Monokote as kind of like the covering for the landing gear. That works out pretty good. That's my Hanger 9 Piper Cub, by the way. So yeah, looks like I can just do that here. So I'll probably just leave it as is. One thing I noted in one of the forums is that some people, this is kind of open right here between the wing and the rear part of this where the landing gear is. People put like a little block of wood to kind of smooth this off. I'll probably do something similar to that, kind of fill this in. Yeah, so this mounts kind of on an angle here. That's interesting. There's the wing mounting bolt. Okay. And again, looks like a little bit, oh, those must be the ailerons. And then working our way back. Not much to see back here. Of course, here's the landing gear, and it's going to tie into the rudder. That's pretty typical. And here's a couple sections. Here's section B prime, which is like right here. Gets through the turtle deck. Here's section A prime, which is right up here by the engine. Yeah, so this is going to be, okay, I don't show it, but boy, yeah, that 40 size engine is going to fit nicely. It's going to be a little bit tight, but anyhow. So yeah, that looks pretty straight. At least the plans look pretty straightforward. We'll see what the instructions do, but yeah. And here's a little bit of info in the corner here. It says revised June 25th something. I can't read what that says there, but yeah, this looks like just pretty much an old probably hand drafted set of plans. I did read somewhere that the plans don't actually match perfectly with some of the wood, and that could be because when they make copies of plans, sometimes when you make a copy, the copy process may shrink or kind of extend the copy somehow, so it may not be perfect, but anyhow, I think we'll be okay with it. Okay, well that's it for now. So there it is. That's the Smoothie 40 kind of box pre-build review. It looks like it's going to be pretty straightforward kit. Looks like it's quality. It's a quality kit. I didn't have any broken pieces. The plans look a little bit on the simple side. The instructions look pretty detailed, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, well that's it for now, and I'm really looking forward to building this kit. So my next video, I guess, is going to be probably just setting up the build. I still have to buy some stuff for this. I do have I'm going to have to put together a shopping list of things I need to get, including the electronics, the servos, things like that. That can come later. I need to pick up some glue, some adhesives and things like that. But overall, I'm getting ready to start this build. So the next video is going to be just basically setting it up, and then we'll jump right into it. Yeah, thanks for watching my channel. I appreciate it. And if you have any comments, please leave them, good or bad. I'd like to hear what everybody has to say. And if you like what you see, please give me a like, and please subscribe and all that kind of stuff. All right, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.